What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel for Webflow Pros. Today's video was made specifically for patrons. So if you're a patron supporting this channel, thank you so much for your support. So for patrons, today's tutorial is on Matter.js, which is a physics engine for the web. Basically, you can have some sections on your page, and whenever you scroll into the Matter section, what you're going to see is it snaps into view, and all these objects fall from the sky. So then you can sort of throw these objects up in the air. You'll see there's some gravity or some physics applied, and you can collide them into each other, and they'll eventually just fall back down into view. Couple limitations with this method, just since we're doing a very basic implementation of Matter.js for this tutorial. First thing is, whenever you throw them super high up and maybe on an angle, sometimes they just won't come back down if you just throw them over the wall. And we have to, for this example, we won't have any sort of ceiling, so that way they can all just fall down from the sky whenever we land on the page. And then also, whenever we're over the Matter canvas, we can't actually scroll up or down anymore, so the user can kind of get stuck in this section unless we have some sort of up or down arrow with some anchor links that can slide you up to the next or the previous section. And then also for this example, we'll be using only circles. So you can change out the background image or the color for each one of these. You can change their size, how many there are, but it will be circles for this example. But yeah, those are the basic limitations of this sort of format. I've seen a lot of times people use this for a hero section or a footer. Sometimes this will be the only thing on the page, and the page won't even be scrollable. So it's totally up to you how you want to use this. But the basic setup I have here is there's a couple sections above and below each of these. And we can just click up or down to skip next or previous, and it'll just lock into view every time when we get to this section. So let's just dive right into Webflow and building this out. There's a couple very specific class names we're going to need and different things like that, but the first step is really just to go into your page settings, and in the before body tag, this is where you're going to paste all the custom code from the Patreon page. So I'll go over in a little bit what all this does, but this one for Trick Circle is basically how you'll style each circle. So you can give it any sort of background color here if you want, and then you can also give it somewhat of a background image. So I just uploaded this smiley face image. You can use whatever you want, but if you hit the setting gear and open this up, you can copy the URL to your image. And basically when you go back over to your code, just paste that URL inside the parentheses, or inside the quotes actually. So from start quote to end quote right there, that's where you'll paste your URL. You can also have a border, so this is 1 pixel. You could switch it to 0 pixels if you don't want any. I'll switch it back to 2. And you can give that border any sort of color. So all this is CSS, just how you can style it, which we'll go over in just a minute if you want it to give each of those their own unique style. But for now, the first thing we're going to need to do is drag in a div onto the page. The div's going to have a class of tricks-matter, and that's the class name we need. So we're going to need to set its position to fixed, and we'll set it to basically full right here, so it's going to cover the whole width and height. We can also set the width to 100%, the height to 100 VH, so it covers the screen. And then we'll want to give it some sort of z-index, so I'll just give it 1, so that way it's pretty low, but it has a z-index applied there. So this is going to be the container that holds all our interactive circles and different things. So if we wanted to give it a background color or a background image or whatever we want to apply, we can do that here. This is also probably where I'll put those arrows. So if I just drag each of these arrows in, and maybe I want to position this one absolute to the top of the whole container, and then I'll position this one, maybe give it a class of is bottom arrow, and position it absolute to the bottom. You can place these wherever you want inside this Tricks Matter container and style them however you want. So we'll need 2 more divs inside Tricks Matter. So we'll drag one in here, and this one's going to be called Tricks-Canvas. And basically this is what's going to hold, this is the thing that's actually going to be interactive and clickable. Then we'll drag in one more one more div, and it's going to be directly inside Tricks Matter again. We'll give it the class of Tricks-Elements, and this is going to hold all the smiley faces or circles or whatever you decide to make them. So we have tricks matter. Inside that we have the canvas, the elements, and optional arrows. Those parts are totally up to you, and that's everything that's going to be in there, and this is just fixed to the screen, so it's always in view. So then the next thing we need to do is just drag in some divs. These can be our actual sections or containers or whatever we want to be on the page. I'll just give this a class of section. And for now, I think I'll start with, I think the first one on the page was just a purple section. This can be whatever size or however you want it to be, but I'll just give it a width of 100% and a height of 100 VH. And that way it just takes up a whole view. And then I'll also switch this position to relative and give it a z-index that's higher than the tricks matter. So I'll give this a z-index of 2. That way it's on top of my interactive things. So if this was my hero section, the draggable matter pieces would be underneath it. I wouldn't be able to see it just quite yet. I'll add a couple more sections onto the page. You can add as many as you'd like, but maybe I'll give this one a background color of pink. And so now we have the purple section and the pink section, and then we're going to need something to sort of space this out, something to create some empty space so we can actually see the like sort of the interactive bits underneath. So this one I'll just give a class, and this class is important, of tricks-spacer. And that spacer I'll go ahead and give it a width of 100%, a height of 100 VH, and position it to relative, and then z-index of 2, so that way it's on top of the tricks matter. So because this tricks spacer doesn't have a background color, we're seeing the tricks matter section underneath it. So this spacer is just to give us a break in between our sections, so that way we can engage with the tricks matter. And it's going to make, the custom code will make this tricks spacer not clickable on the actual site. Another thing we're going to need to do is have some sort of trigger that basically, because we could make this whole section, this whole spacer be the trigger. Whenever it enters into view, it instantly snaps us down. But we'd probably want to make it not that precise, because if the user just slides in a little bit, they might not be ready to view the next section yet. We want to give them a little more distance before it snaps into view. So I'll drag another div inside tricks spacer. And basically this one is going to have the class of tricks view. So this is the trigger that determines when it slides us into view and when the interaction plays. So I'll give it a position of fixed, and I'll fix it to the bottom of the trick spacer section, and I'll give it a height of maybe 80% of that trick spacer. So you could give this 100% if you want it to, as soon as it instantly, even a slither appears, snap you into view. But if you want to give a little bit more of a buffer, just back it down some so it's not completely instant. Also, we need to make sure that it's not directly touching the bottom of this section either, so that way we don't have the issue when we scroll back up. So I'll just add 20 pixels actually off of bottom margin. That way it's not directly touching the bottom of this section, and we have a little bit of breathing room on both sides. So that seems to be working pretty well there. One other thing is the tricks spacer is actually going to need an ID, and this will be an ID of matter. So basically it's going to know to scroll us into view of whatever has the ID of matter. So this will start directly at the top of tricks spacer. After that, I may just create one more section. Maybe I'll create 2 more sections on the page, just so we can see a few sections above and below. Again, this part's totally optional. You don't have to have any sections above or below if you don't want. But everything inside tricks matter and inside tricks spacer are required, with the exception of these arrows. So once we have everything set up there, I'm just going to link these arrows to basically go to the section above. So maybe I'll give this section an ID of up, because it's directly above our spacer, and I'll give this section an ID of down because it's directly below. I'll link the up arrow to the up section, and then the down arrow to the down section, and that appears to be working there. So let's just go ahead and publish and test this out and see what we have once we have that basic HTML structure set up. So by default we have this purple section. We can scroll down, nothing happens on the pink section. We scroll down and get a little slither of the dark section, nothing's happening. But when we scroll and our trigger comes into view, it snaps us in and the animation plays. So that's just like we would expect. Now we can't scroll up or down anymore, so we're going to have to either click this up arrow to go up to the section before it, or once we're in the Tricks Matter, we can click the down arrow to go to the section below it. And now that appears to be working fine. But let's say we wanted to style these a little bit differently, customize them somewhat. Let's say maybe each one of these, maybe we want to start by just determining how many items we want on the page. So if you look in the code where it says tricks amount and it says 16, that means there's going to be 16 circles on the page. If I increase this to maybe 6, for instance, and I go ahead and publish, we should see only 6 circles appear. And let's just go ahead and test that out. So we're in the Matter section. Now we only have 6 circles. Okay. What if we wanted to change the size of them somewhat? So right now they're all kind of random sizes. Tricks min is the minimum size. So right now 0.5, and it converts that to a larger pixel size, but 0.5 is the smallest we'd want it to be. Tricks max of 1.5 is the largest we'd want it to be. So watch what happens when I change this to 0.1 instead of 0.5 and publish again, what we should see is the circle should be allowed to get a lot smaller. So if I refresh, see now we have some really tiny circles in here. So that's how you can control kind of like the size, how large or how small you want it to be able to get, and how many you can control from here. I'll just put 12 for now. But let's say we also want to give these each a unique color or a unique image. Right now this code's commented out with the slash and the asterisk, but if I delete the top and bottom piece of the comment, those two right there, you'll see this is saying grab the third circle on the page, give it a background color of whatever I want, in this case pink, and then give it a background image. And for this case I'll use the same smile, but I could easily change that to whatever image I want. So then if I go ahead and publish and refresh, we should see one of the circles now should be pink, and it is. And the circle sizes are generated completely randomly in the order, so you may have to give a couple of these like different sizes. So let's see. If we wanted to have multiple, so we would have to copy this whole block of code, and then we would create another one, and we'd say grab the second circle and change the background image and the color of that one, and do the same thing, copy it again for the fourth, fifth, the first circle. Basically for every instance we want to style, we would have to basically target each one of those circles one by one and give them the background image we want and the optional color that we want. And then that should make 2 more of them pink now. And yeah, so now we have a couple pink ones and mostly yellow ones that are being styled from the main class up there. And that appears to be working just fine. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. That's how to implement a very basic version of Matter.js with a couple circles, having them different sizes, different colors, things like that. I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.